All right, everyone. Let's get started with today's open discussion and various topics. And I believe this is class 139. Make sure everything's set up. Okay, let's open up with reciting the prayer for spiritual workers. Prayer for spiritual workers. Almighty God, I bless all those who, because of their limitations, would smite me. Almighty God, I bless all those who, because of their weakness, would not heed me. Almighty God, I bless all those who, because of their ignorance, will defile you through me. And I ask, Almighty God, O wondrous power, that your strength may be given to me now, so that I might be fortified by this, so that I might go forward bravely into the world, and despite reception, send forth my love of thee throughout all races of man. Almighty God, give me the power and strength to rise above my karmic weakness, the deficiencies in the pattern of my evolution, so that I might evolve and become stronger, I, and even stronger in thy everlasting light. O God, thy will be done. All right, welcome everyone to Open Discussion and Various Topics, Class 139. As per usual, feel free to post any questions or comments you may have in the chat, and we will do our best to answer those for you. And then a little later on, we will continue with our review of Metaphysics 101, Class 2, following along with the transcript. And hopefully we'll be able to get through quite a bit of it today. As we're going through the transcript, we'll also look at some additional notes and handouts that have been produced since the original 101 lecture was given about 10 or 11 years ago. As a reminder, you can find the videos that we're reviewing, at least during this open discussion series, on our YouTube channel. You can click on playlist and scroll down a bit. Go on to Metaphysics 101 playlist down here. There are 2 classes in this playlist. We finished class 1. Now we're going through class 2. And then after that, we'll move on to the 21 lessons, the foundation of mystic and yogic teachings. So we'll go through quite a few of these courses. There are about 44 videos in this playlist. And so I will curate a list and announce it beforehand of which videos we'll cover. Most of the videos we'll cover will actually be the 21 lessons videos. There are others in here too. Like this example, Introduction to Ayurveda. This is a very popular course I was given several years ago as well. We have another couple of courses, Man and His Bodies from another guest lecturer, as well as Metaphysics for Beginners in our Friday lecture series by another guest lecturer. So we'll spend some time in the 21 Lessons of Metaphysics playlist. In the same formats, we'll go through a transcript to follow along with the video lecture itself. And then we'll include some handouts and illustrations that have been produced since, or including the handouts and illustrations that were used during those presentations. There it is, so I can move around a bit. Yeah. Let's see if there's any questions or comments so far. But even though we're going through the transcript, you can feel free to post questions at any time during today's open discussion, and we'll answer those for you as well. Okay, so if there's no questions, so last time, as we're going through the transcript, we stopped at the 5-minute and 22 mark. And if you remember, we looked at the nadis. In fact, we took quite an in-depth examination and discussion of the nadis. We read through several documents that Dave's put together for us in order to review the nadis and to actually name several of the prominent nadis. We talked about their purpose, their position, their locations. And so we went quite in depth about a discussion about the nadis last time. Today we'll continue on our discussion, moving into the chakras, naming some of the chakras, and the movement of Kundalini through Sushumna, as well as the bodies that compose the auric unit. Just give me 1 second here. Having some issue on my computer. 1 minute, please. Okay, sorry about that. I was trying to get this to come up side by side, but it's giving me some issues. So in the original Metaphysics 101 lecture series, the diagram here on the right-hand side is what was presented to us in class, and is what Nehemiah followed along as we were going through, as he was presenting the material. And so I'm going to keep that here as we go through the transcript on the left-hand side, so you can follow along. And then move to additional diagrams, illustrations to kind of add more information. And that's what we're talking about in the 101, which is really just a brief survey of an introduction of to metaphysics. So now the chakras and the nadis combine with the auric body, and the power of Kundalini flowing through it, and the background being Sushumna. It forms the first humanoid type body called the etheric body. So here we are in the diagram, number 4, 5, and really here, number 5, and moving on to number 6. And then we'll go more into the bodies in a bit. It forms the first humanoid body type called the etheric body, which is a subtle body with a head, arms, hands, trunk, and legs and feet. But it's a subtle type of body, and the subtle type body usually operates from the upper chakras, from the heart up. And so you see here in this illustration, he has the higher etheric realms, starting from the heart chakra and upward, encompassing the throat, Christ, and the crown. And these are the higher chakras in which the etheric realms or the etheric body operates. And continuing on, it says, now it uses the energy configuration of those upper chakras, and it becomes the body that the supraconscious mind works through. And it is made up, as I said, of the tremendous power of Kundalini, the nadis, and the chakras, which make up this auric type subtle body called the etheric body. And it operates on those planes of existence that correlate with the heart chakra, the throat chakra, the Christ chakra, and the crown chakra. Now, from this etheric body, the soul uses the etheric body to manufacture the other mental bodies. All right, so now we're moving here into the mental bodies, which is the subconscious mind and the conscious mind. Now, the subconscious mind and the conscious mind actually came from the supraconscious mind. All right. Now, we are only going to deal with the superconscious mind, but the superconscious mind manufactures the subconscious mind and the conscious mind in order to make the lower chakras, in order to help formulate the lower chakras. The lower chakras being the chakras underneath the heart chakra, right? From here and down, which is the solar plexus chakra, the sex chakra, and the base chakra. Okay? So now let's go into the chakra system, and we'll take a look at levels of consciousness as well. But sticking to, when I say levels of consciousness, I'm referring, just mean the super, sub, and conscious mind. Okay, let me maximize this. And we'll first start out with a brief look at the chakra system and the prana flow diagram. Can everybody see? No, because it's paused. Let me resume it. Just make sure everything is good on the side. Okay, good. And then from this brief look at the chakra system and pranic flow, we'll then move into a deeper discussion of the chakras. And I apologize for the constant pauses. My Zoom just updated and things are a bit wonky on my end. 1 second, please. Sorry, everyone. I just lost my share. Give me 1 second. Okay. A brief look at the chakra system. Chakras are a series of vortex centers of mental, vital, and sonic energies being pulled in and out of the subtle auric structure It moves these energies from one realm of existence to the next realm. In nadis, the nadis are thin lines of force radiating from the dormant kundalini as separate flows of subtle energies called the Pingala nadis, a vital flow of energies, and the Ida nadis, a negative or mental flow of energies. Prana is a universal life force that radiates throughout creation, mainly through various solar logas or suns. This pervasive subtle energies has a cosmic level, solar level, planetary level, and human level of operation. The prana we use in the solar system comes from our mighty sun through the release of a creative sonic vibrations, nada, that delivers the pranas to the planets and its life forms. Right? Let's talk from 7 downwards, from 7 at the top. It is the spirit, the unmanifested point of endless potential of all knowledge space. That's here at this white sphere at the top. And these lines radiating around the body are the aura, or several magnetic fields of atmosphere of modified mental and subtle energy substance. We come down to the Christ center, or the command center of spirit through the soul, the point where the all knowledge space is known and experienced. Number 5 is the vortex of purification, the throat chakra, and calibration of mental and subtle energies. Number 4, this vortex center is the seat of the soul, or the heart chakra. It brings meaning to the movement of mental, subtle, and gross energies that pass through it. Number 3, the solar plexus chakra, is the point where the transformation of the subtle and gross base of mental coding and of the energies, mental coding of the energies, sorry. Then we have the sex chakra. Next is the seat of basic consciousness. It's where the mental and vital life forces expands itself throughout the entire body. And then finally, we have at the base of the spine, or the Muladhara chakra. And it is there for the point of the formation of Kundalini, which is the vehicle of consciousness for the soul. Kundalini, a dormant Shakti power manipulated by the soul to create a state of consciousness to expand basic life. Kundalini is a dormant power which is located at the base of the spine by the soul, manipulating a potent flow of concentrated Shakti power. Through the Brahma Nadi, located within the inner chambers of Sushumna. Once at the base of the spine, the Shakti becomes Kundalini power, which works as a vehicle of consciousness for man in his many cycles of life. The dormant Kundalini blocks the doorway to Sushumna, while the active Kundalini flows through the nadis, making all consciousness and non-conscious movement possible. A negative simulation of the energy flows through wrong thought and actions causes a drag and non-responsiveness to the conscious demands of this life force. This results in a negative excitement of chakras, creating multi-levels of Maya consciousness, which demands multiple life cycles to correct. You can see here in the illustration, these red lines represent a negative flow of Kundalini life force in the front of the body. Through the nadis that excites the chakras negatively and adds to our involved states of being, which increases the duration times of our reincarnation. And now on the right-hand side, we look at the active flow of Kundalini, with the body acts as a vehicle of consciousness. And you can see here with the arrow pointing up, represents evolution, and it's on the rear of the body. At the front of the body, you have an arrow pointing downward, and that represents involution. It takes advantage of the bombardment of energies from the sun, earth, and moon upon the chakra system. The Kundalini energies flowing through the nadis manipulates the chakra energies. We form several layers of consciousness forming basic life. Subtle forces that are manipulators are the 5 major pranas. Let's say at the bottom here, which is here, major flow prana, which is Udana, the subtle flow of energies traveling through the head, arms, and legs. Prana, a flow of energy that flows down from the heart chakra and towards the base chakra, then back up to the heart chakra. You have Samana. The subtle flow of energies operates from the solar plexus and the conjunction points of all pranas. And you have Vyana, a flow of energies traveling from the sex chakra through the entire body. And then Apana, a flow of energies that travels from the base of the spine chakra up to the heart chakra and then back down to the base of the spine chakra. And those are the 5 major pranas. You have the 5 bhutas, and the 5 minor pranas, the nada vibrations, the tattvic rays, chitta energies, and manas energies. Okay. See if there's any questions or comments. No, okay. Minimize that. So next, let's take a look at the bodies of man. Now, I did want to use a little bit of an extract from chapter 9 of text. Mr. Davis has. And this chapter is entitled The Etheric Bodies of Expression. Because in those about 2 minutes of transcript, we started out with the etheric body and then moved downwards to the other bodies. So I just wanted to cover a bit of the etheric body today, and then while also looking at the centers that correspond to the etheric body, meaning from the heart and upwards. And then next time we'll move into the other bodies to make up the mental bodies. I don't want to read through the entire chapter. I'm just going to pick out a few sections, particularly where it talks about what is the etheric body, and move through to, I'm going to skip some of the tattvic configuration part of it, but then we'll talk about the vortex centers and look at how the etheric body in its proximity to the auric body and the higher subtle body of man. And we'll stop before we get into the Vajra effect. So let me go ahead and put this up. We'll follow along through this to go a bit more detail with the etheric body. And I believe we'll close up with a couple of diagrams looking at the consciousness. And that should carry us out for today's session. Do ignore any errors you may see in this document. It is the document in progress. I'm just going to take a couple of extracts from it as we move forward today. Right, let's go ahead. Let's start. What is the etheric body or bodies? I'm sorry, Nehemiah, is there anything that you wanted to add before I go into this?
No, just go ahead. If you have any questions, just ask.
Okay. The etheric bodies is the higher subtle bodies of man that is made up from the upper major chakras along the spinal column, from the heart chakra and up. The heart chakra, throat chakra, Kaya chakra, and the crown chakra produces the mind and vital energies that configures the etheric bodies for the major realms associated with these chakras. The subtle etheric bodies' advanced capacity is determined by the level of mental and vital energy configurations of the upper chakra levels, access to mind energies and vital energies radiating through the listed above vortex centers. The soul designs the etheric bodies to live and operate on the higher subtle realms of existence, which are the upper four chakras along the spinal column as listed above. The auric matter that is pulled together to house the mental energies and vital energies and material substance needed to build the subtle etheric systems in order to manufacture the functioning etheric bodies that can withstand huge levels of psychic and vital energy pressures in the Earth atmosphere or in open space outside of the planetary atmosphere. These subtle realms are made up from the mind and energy configuration of the upper chakras of man. These upper chakras are known by the following English names, Sanskrit names, and regions it is located within the body. And so we have the table 9.1, at the heart psychic vortex center. The Anahata chakra contains 12 petals or bijas. And it is the heart psychic center is located within the auric body at the heart region and the center of the breastbone level. All right, it is one of the primary centers that we use in the projection of energy, particularly through prayer and including the palms of the hands, center of the palms of the hands. The throat psychic vortex center, the Vishuddhara chakra, containing 16 petals or bijas. The throat center is located within the auric body at the throat region at the center of the neck. Then we have the Christ psychic vortex center, the Ajna chakra, with its 2 petals or bijas. And the Christ psychic center is located within the auric body at the Christ region at the center of the forehead, between the eyebrows. And number 4, we have the crown psychic vortex center, or the Sahasrara chakra, 1,000 petals or bijas. And the crown psychic center is located within the auric body at the crown of the head region, which is the top of the head. The upper chakras that fuel the etheric body. English name of the heart psychic vortex center, or the Anahata chakra. This vortex center regulates subtle sound vibrations to a point to help design and animate a field of mental influence that molds and shapes the energies pulled together and hold the intelligent patterns of the subtle matter in order to bring meaning and purpose to the involutional activities and evolutionary activities of the energy cycles of matter. The heart center is the fourth major nadi knot and is called the Anahata chakra in Sanskrit terms. The Sanskrit terminology, Anahata, means the wheel of unstruck sound. It carries and releases the holy sound vibration, or chakra seed mantra YAM, which is released from the bindu via the soul through this chakra. This sound represents the control of the Shakti power as mind. The chakra gives meaning to the Shakti power through the manifestation of the Nadic power that resonates here. There are 12 petals that extends from the heart chakra seed mantra. These 12 petals are 12 lines of nada, or subtle sonic sounds, that are energized by the sacred seed mantras with configured mental pranas aimed to help manifest and define human consciousness. This mighty force of the main seed mantra of this Anahata chakra and its 12 petals within this chakra is accompanied with 54 tattvic rays. These 54 tattvic rays of the mighty sun manifest the power that builds, maintains, and preserves the consciousness of the soul on several planes of existence simultaneously. They offer the frequencies of mind energies and vital energies that are used to configure the patterns for building subtle materials with the capacity to be used as etheric cells, blood, tissue, organs, and systems to be used as the subtle vehicles of expression. These 54 tattvic rays are accompanied with 54 divas. The motion of these tattvic rays indicates the presence of the divas. A tattvic ray means a sonic vibrational mode of motion of cosmic energies that carries the will of God. The tattvic rays are a combination of the subtle fine energy patterns behind material matter. In Sanskrit terminology, the diva group that accompanies the tattvic rays is called the Surya diva group. The presiding diva over the bindu of this chakra is called Kakini, and it releases the holy sonic vibration of YAM to further demonstrate the preservation power of this chakra. The chakra is considered to be one of the upper chakras. It is where the higher planes begin and also where the higher consciousness begins to manifest itself. When mankind purifies his nadis, he activates them to the point where he gains the ability to awaken the major chakras to the sensory perception of the lower astral and physical consciousness. The awakening of this heart chakra gives mankind the power over the basic emotional expressions of the soul's astral and physical vehicles of expression. Some of the main purification qualities produced from this chakra are as follows: to gain control over hope, care, anxiety, endeavor, sense of mindness, arrogance or hypocrisy, languor, weakness or weariness of the body and mind, conceit, discrimination, covetousness, duplicity, indecision, and regret. this for a second. Let me get this here. I want to have here. And new share. That's great. All right, next let's move to the throat psychic center, or the Vishuddha chakra. This throat chakra is a vortex center that configures the subtle sound vibrations and tattvic rays as a purification sonic wave that establishes a singularity to it, that solidifies the motion, giving it audible sound that's capable of expressing a segment of consciousness on multiple levels of consciousness. The throat center is the fifth major nadi knot and is called the Vishuddha chakra in Sanskrit terminology, which means the wheel of purity. It is the vortex center of purification. This chakra is the final resting place for the fourth aspect of sound, Vaikhari sound, that gives humankind the ability to manifest consciousness on the physical and subtle planes of existence simultaneously. This is the chakra which man must operate from in order to break free of the ring past knot force field, which bounds all basic life forms to the realms of earth until they reach a higher level of consciousness. When man can fully raise the power of Kundalini consciously to the Vishuddha chakra and fully activate and open this chakra, then it is said that he can exit his physical body with the etheric body in full consciousness and leave this planet and any other planet in this solar system for a specific time. Such is the power of the throat chakra. This chakra is made up of several sonic forces as well. It has the seed mantra bija, HAM, that produces 16 petals or letters, sound bits, and 72 tattvic rays, which are 72 modes of motion. These modes of motion configure themselves in a manner that manifests various qualities of purification, shuddhi. These 72 tattvic rays are made up from the quality of mind, quality of the third Mahabindu force, the moon. The reflective energy rays of the mighty sun are conditioned by the moon and its loyal Luna Devas, help to shape the mental realms of earth. The Sanskrit name for this Luna Deva is called the Chandra Deva group. The radiant moon rays collected from the mighty sun and reflected toward Mother Earth's dark side to assist in manipulating the sonic and cosmic energies that permeates the earth 365 days a year. This chakra has a Deva Shakini that resides over the Bindu of the chakra that releases the holy sound of HAM. And with it comes 16 petals, which are the seed mantras. Some of the main purification qualities produced from the chakra are as follows: to gain control over faith, contentment, anger, affection, sense of error, sorrow, grief, dejection, purity, detachment, agitation, appetite, and desire. These holy sound vibrations, when activated properly, calibrates the chakra to release cosmic energies in a manner that will allow the devas to manipulate it by purifying negative aspects that have been built up and release the power of Pingala and Ida within the Sushumna under the control of the mighty Kundalini Deva. Okay. I'm going to use this one. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this clearly. All right, let me resume share. Next, we'll go to the Christ Center, or the Sanskrit name Ajna Chakra. The Christ Chakra is a vortex center that acts as a command center. The ancient Sanskrit word ajna means command. Place chakra after the word, and you have the short meaning of command wheel. This chakra is located between the eyebrows within the etheric structure. This chakra is where the spinal column is terminated. It's also where the three nadi energy flows, called Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna nadis, terminate and merge back as one consciousness. The second equilibrium level along the spinal column. This Bindu energy expressed here is the highest level of static Shakti power being expressed along the spinal column. The deep, pure meditation at this level takes the adept to the level of mastership. This chakra is called the Guru chakra. The activation and opening of this chakra is brought about by the full conscious rays of the power of Kundalini, entering a deep state of meditation. The man that fully taps into this power by raising the Kundalini to the Christ center and fully activating it destroys all negative karma of his past lives and transcends all the positive karma of those past lives. This Christ chakra is made up of the sacred bija Om, bija sound of Om, that produces two petals or Sanskrit letters. These two sounds or petals extend themselves as nadis. This chakra has 64 tattvic rays, which are 64 sonic modes of motion, where movement patterns of the cosmic energies that travel through the chakras and nadis leave this chakra. These motions of prana are brought about by the nada shakti vibrating from the petals to influence the direction or movement of the aspects of mind and prana. Now, the nada shakti aspect of prana is always accompanied with a devic presence or deva presence, which are loyal servants of the Lord of Karma. In fact, all movement is governed by the laws of karma, which are the devas in action. Therefore, if you have 64 tattvic rays, then you also have 64 divas that are responsible for those tattvic rays. This chakra tattvic rays, these chakra tattvic rays are conditioned by the third Granthi nut and the Mahabindu force of the etheric body, the moon. These rays collect from the mighty sun and reflect off the moon towards the Mother Earth's dark side to assist in manifesting the mental power necessary for building and maintaining the mental astral planes of existence. The tattvic rays are the sonic modes of motion that act as harmonic signals to stabilize subtle and gross manifestations within the human structure. Finally, we come to the crown psychic center, or the Sahasrara chakra. This is the seventh vortex center, the crown chakra, or psychic center. In Sanskrit terminology, is called the Sahasrara chakra. The ancient teachings tell us that this chakra is the residing place for the soul. And it has 1,000 petals or sacred, holy, creative sounds that feeds all the 108 chakras within the auric structure. The creative holy word AUM is the main Bindu chakra sound bija for this psychic center. In advanced metaphysical teachings, it is also said that multiple chakras are blended together to form this cosmic sacred vortex center or chakra. There are at least 12 known chakras within the Sahasrara chakra, thousand petal lotus. The Sahasrara chakra is an avatar consciousness and the realms of the cosmic beings. The etheric body is closer to the auric body. The etheric body is one of the main subtle bodies of man and has the highest, close bodies, one of the main subtle bodies of man and one of the highest subtle bodies. The soul formulates several configurations of the etheric bodies to exist on several levels of existence. The mind and energy configuration used to create the etheric body came from the upper chakras system, where the energy levels are of a higher spiritual quality and are more accessible to utilize for various levels of operation. Because of the higher vibrational configuration of the heart, throat, and Christ chakra mind energies and vital energies used to create the etheric bodies, the etheric body is designed to utilize the unlimited power that the auric body has access to, which is the power of the cosmos that the auric body pulls on for the soul to carry out its mission. Remember, the auric structure is indestructible and known as a traveling body for the soul and operates on a high capacity for eons. Okay. Let me pause here to see if there are any questions. Okay. No questions so far. All right, let's continue. Table 9.2. looks at the chakras that constitute the etheric body, petals, the pranas, the mahabhutas, the tattvic rays, and the lokas or realms. So we start number 1 with the heart psychic center or the anahata chakra, consisting of 12 petals. And the pranas there, apana, vyana, samana, and 100% prana. The bhutas, prithivi, apas, tejas, and vayu. 54 tattvic rays, and it is of the mahar loka. Then the throat psychic center, Shuddha chakra, 16 petals. Yes, some vyana, less samana, some prana, but 100% udana. And its bhutas are apas, tejas, vayu, and akasa. And 72 tattvic rays, and is of the jnana loka. Then we have the Christ psychic center, the ajna chakra, with its 2 petals. Its major prana is manas, and which is the tattvic rays with 64 tattvic rays, and it belongs to the tapo loka. And then we have the crown psychic center, Saharasara center, with its 1,000 petals. It has all the tattvic rays, and it belongs to the avatar loka. The etheric body is the highest body of man. The etheric body is one of the higher subtle spiritual bodies. Its main source of power comes to configuration energies radiating from the upper chakras, such as the heart chakra and the above chakras. These, when properly developed, are the centers of consciousness for the adepts, masters, avatars, and eventually ascended masters and cosmic masters. In describing the etheric body, we must reference the ancient mystic teachings that describes the upper chakras as the levels of consciousness that ancient Adamic man operated from when they lived and occupied the most of the Mother Earth over 18.6 million years ago. The ancient Adamic man's base of the spine chakra was the heart chakra. They were born operating from an adept level of consciousness. Their Adamic man's physical body utilized the Vajra nadic flow of energy substance that forms the diamond-like etheric exterior material that surrounds and encases the sacred power that flows through the Sushumna. The Adamic man's body operated on a gross physical etheric level, where they were easily able to move between the realms of existence. And because they had access to the tremendous flow of energies passing through and being utilized by the 1 Sushumna, and 2, the 4 upper chakras, and 3, the auric body envelope of cosmic energies. Ancient teachings of Tantra Sastra and Mantra Sastra tells us that the Vajra energy configuration is utilized as the crystal diamond-like substance that is made up from the Ojas energy substance. This is an aspect of the Kundalini power. And in our current human body, it creates a mini corridor, a wall of protection for sacred energies that resides and flows through the Sushumna nadis. To allow this concentrated subtle energies to safely travel freely from the base and sex centers to the head region. According to these ancient teachings, this Vajra substance was not only used to protect the spinal column and Sushumna of the Adamic man, but also the exterior substance of the physical body and etheric bodies. This gave a tremendous energy source to the ancient Adamic man's body, which gave them access to the spiritual energies and powers of the upper chakra system that allow them to operate from these multiple realms of existence of the heart chakra, throat chakra, Christ chakra, and crown chakra. Because the Vajra-nadic energy flow of energy configuration, the Adamic man was able to operate on multiple realms of existence consciously. This means the following according to the yogi mystic ancient teachings. The Adamic man was born with advanced psychic senses, which include all of the listed 10 senses of man. The Adamic man lived for thousands of years in one body because of the Vajra energy flow and Ojas, vitality, life fluid, used to build the physical body of Adamic man. And the Adamic man was able to consciously will the power of Kundalini up and down the spinal column, or Sushumna, because the mental substance structure of Sushumna did not need triple protection that the Kali Yuga man have today. And Kali Yuga meaning age. So we're currently in the Kali Yuga. The Adamic man didn't have astral distortions as we do, because the astral realms didn't exist in the days of the Adamic man. They utilized the etheric realms of Earth. The Earth was highly magnetic because of the highly spiritual realms and consciousness that the Adamic man was operating on. Okay. Was there anything you wanted to add to that in your mind?
No, not really. That's not talked about a lot, but
No, it's not.
this is the prayer book, right?
I think so.
Before we turn that in, we need to put the footnotes on that.
Yeah.
So people can reference this somewhere else. There's at least 3 books they can reference. Nature Final Forces,
Mm-hmm.
The Secret Doctrines, and the Serpent Power.
Okay. Are there any questions or comments? I'm going to read a couple more passages from this, and then I'll move on to our final diagram, and then we'll close out for today. So the etheric body, as stated earlier, is the highest quality subtle body utilized by the soul to gain experiences through the upper realms of this earth and parts of the solar system and galaxy that still function on these realms of existence. As also stated, the upper chakras are referencing is the following major chakras. The first upper level of the major chakras is the heart chakra, Anahata chakra. It represents multiple realms of existence according to the teachings of Tantra Sastra and Mantra Sastra. Every tattva ray represents a realm of existence and multiple levels of consciousness and multiple frequencies of mind energies and vital energies that is utilized, this places function in a configuration that brings about equilibrium state of consciousness that are highly productive. In ancient mystic Tantra Sastra and Mantra Sastra teachings tell us that this vortex center of consciousness is where the initial formation of the subtle bodies of man. We are also told that this chakra level is the place to consciously direct an exchange of subtle energies. This means that the heart chakra is one of the safest major psychic centers, major chakra, that basic man can conduct mental concentration on without causing damage to the mental and physical bodies. So as I mentioned earlier, when we perform prayer, we are taught to visualize the energy leaving the palms of the hands. When we're adopting the prayer mudra, we're taught to visualize energy leaving the palms of the hands and the heart center. The reason for that, because it is one of the safest major centers that we, basic humanity, can conduct mental concentration on. The energy configuration utilized and offered here for the soul to build etheric structure in order to gain experience within and on those existence for these levels of chakra consciousness is the originally intended frequency of mind energies and vital energies used for man's basic conscious level and etheric physical bodies. The conversion points on mind and vital energies for the heart chakra level place for the Granthi knot represents the advanced conversion process of mind and vital energies to manifest to higher qualities of material operations. The Granthi knots represent the conversion point that builds about a risen stated of operation in mind and energies and matter. So operation in mind, energies, and matter, sorry. The second level of the etheric body consciousness gives movement from the mental worlds to the subtle physical realms and gross physical realms. This is the throat chakra, Vishuddha chakra, which is the place where the mental thoughts are transformed into coherent sounds that summarize the inner thoughts of man in his speech and actions. The major subtle energies described here in the ancient teachings of Tatra and Mantra Sastra is the Udana Pranas, which is described as powering the head region, the arms, legs, and feet. These Udana Pranas are the energies of movement and access to travel the realms of existence. As the great modern Bodhisattva, Master Avatar, the late George King stated that when the yogi adept consciously brings about a full raise of the Kundalini power to the throat chakra, the adept is allowed to exit the atmosphere of the Mother Earth in a projected state within the etheric body. This projected state is achieved in a super conscious state of mind, which indicates he will have access to the higher subtle spiritual realms of the solar system and galaxy. Because the soul is operating from the superconscious mind level, it has the ability to harness tremendous amounts of power. The etheric body has the ability to pull on tremendous powers from the sun, Earth, the other planets, and the solar system galaxy. This allows the soul to perform extraordinary feats while in this state of etheric consciousness. This means traveling at tremendous speeds under extreme conditions through open space, while in the Earth atmosphere or outside of the Earth's atmosphere, and also on any realm of existence. The same energy configuration that shields, protects, and harnesses and utilizes the power within the Sushumna channel is concentrated channels of concentrated subtle energies called Kundalini, or a concentrated Tattvic Shakti conscious configuration. Okay. And 3, when viewing the third level of the etheric body consciousness, we find that the Adept Master has reached avatar status. This third level of the etheric body operates from the Christ chakra, or psychic vortex center, called the Aja chakra in Sanskrit terminology. At this point, the chakra consciousness, the ancient yogi teachings tell us that full activation of the particular vortex center can only be fully activated or achieved by a full conscious raise of the Kundalini power. At this level, of the superconscious mind, the yogi master can manipulate all the subtle energies within its localized sphere of consciousness. The yogi master can pull in the auric radium substances that glows around the physical, astral, and etheric bodies and manipulate this substance as a source of power. This power is stored into the etheric body to avoid any waste of the sacred power that make up the outer auric substances. According to the ancient mystic teachings, when the yogi master reaches this level of consciousness, he or she is conscious 24 hours a day, even when they sleep, only allowing the physical body to rest itself. The master, after achieving this level of advancement, begins to live on multiple realms of existence consciously, conducting his or her work during the physical awakened times of the day and on the subtle realms of existence, while the physical body is asleep. At this point, the master is operating on a super conscious state of mind 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. The Ajna chakra, or the Christ vortex center, so the Christ psychic vortex center, is known in the Tantra Shastra and Mantra Shastra teachings as the command center. This is the residing place of the soul, and all other mental processes must pass through this center. The supra-conscious mind and the super-conscious mind resides within the Ajna chakra region and extends its influence from the center into every psychic vortex center below it, acting as the command center or background operating center. This twin higher consciousness is created by the soul and is following an ancient science, where one aspect of the higher consciousness stands still as the background power and platform, which is the supra-conscious mind that we're referring to, and the other aspect of consciousness is in motion, assisting all aspects of mental process, which is known as the super-conscious mind. These twin higher states of consciousness act as the devatars of the human system. They make sure the laws of God are carried out correctly and without failure, strictly according to the karmic laws of God. Remember, the Sanskrit word karma means action or divine actions. Karma represents the right laws of actions, which translates into a pressure towards conformity towards right karmic actions and position. Every chakra below the Ajna chakra, Christ psychic vortex center, is only an extension of the Ajna chakra. Therefore, all known 106 chakras below it must respond to it and is led by it. The Ajna chakra has 2 petals with the chakra mantra of OM. This chakra level of consciousness is the doorway to ascension, or the ascended master status. Okay. If there are any questions? No questions.
I think it's too advanced.
Yeah.
When I hear you, I wrote that, but when I hear you read it, most people have to read that multiple times in order to understand. I wrote that a long time ago.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Like several years ago?
I wrote that book. I wrote that book before I wrote the
mantra book?
mantra book.
Oh, that was a long time ago, yeah.
So just kept modifying it, and trying to. Because I think when I first wrote it, it was just because I was taught how to put it into to see what grade level it was on. And most books read better when it's on a 6th to 9th grade level. And because of all the Sanskrit words, the footnotes and all that, they kept saying that it was on a 18, 19 grade level.
Yes.
So also let me know what diagrams I should put in that book.
Okay. I'll pick some out.
I need to turn that book in soon because they keep calling me.
Okay.
Janelle did her.
She did her pass already, right?
She did pass.
All right. So there's no questions. Just want to close up. Our final handout to look through today is the bodies of man, the mystic constitution of man. And I don't know if we used this one before.
Nah,
No.
I gave this to you. I don't think we ever used it.
Yeah. And therefore, it is not in the Google Drive shared folder. So if you look in the description on YouTube or in the meetup announcement, there is a link to a Google Drive shared folder. And in that shared folder contains many of the handouts that we've covered or gone over in these open discussion sessions. So you're welcome to click on that link, follow that link, and go to the two folders there that are separated by years, and download some of those handouts, read them, study them. If you have any questions on them, come back. Or if there's any handouts that you've seen in these open discussion sessions that are not in the shared folder, you can send us an email to request them, and I'll either post them or get permission to send them to you directly. So this handout is actually, I had it up while I was reading through chapter 9, but without the description. So this is what we had before. Going from spirit to soul, and there's the pull on the Shakti. The soul pulls on the Shakti power, forming the auric body. And then from the auric body, the chakra system. And then we talk about Kundalini coming down, Sushumna, and the Nadic system is formed, branching out of the chakras and intersecting at various points throughout the aura. Formation of the mental bodies, and then the pranic formation, and then the etheric body, which is what we were talking about today. And the astral and other bodies we'll take a look at in subsequent sessions where when we get to those points in the transcript. So, spirit, let me zoom in a bit, is the divine spark of God within man. It is connected to the absolute God and is totally unmanifested. And then we go to soul. The soul is manifested from the spirit as the body for the spirit when within the manifested realms of existence. Actually, the soul is both manifested and partially unmanifested. The unmanifested portion being connected to spirit, and then the manifested portion being the background for all of this. The soul pulls on the great Shakti power that's been specially modified by the three Mahabindus, the earth, the sun, and the moon, in order to build an indestructible body for itself. Right, so remember, this is the bodies of man. It's a concept of man. We're strictly sticking to man here. So there, if you remember from other diagrams and classes, we're talking about the formation of the universe. You'll know that there's many other steps that happen from spirit or the absolute to get to the constitution of man, but we're skipping over that because we're focusing on just the constitution of man here. The auric body is the, number 3 here, the auric body is the primary body for the soul. Its job is to sustain itself through the regulation of the vital life forces pulled by the soul from the, excuse me, from the centers of power, earth, sun, and moon. The auric body is indestructible, and it carries you from life to life. Well, do not be confused there. We say life to life and also the time in between lives. In other words, your auric body is with you throughout the entirety of your evolutionary process. So even when we're in between lives on the either the astral or etheric planes, we still have that same auric body. Interesting to note is, you say here, the auric body continues with us. From life to life, we don't keep the same physical body, right? Because the physical body, well, we'll get to that later when we talk about life after life and the formation of the physical and astral bodies. The chakra system before is a series of vortex centers within the auric body of substance that pulls on the all-pervasive cosmic energies and universal mind substance. These 108 chakras feed the auric body and allow it to sustain itself for eons. The chakras are vortex centers of power and consciousness. There are major, minor, and minute chakras that receive and transmit power. Number 5, the Kundalini power is formed from the pulling down of the Mahashakti by the soul and shaped into a vehicle of consciousness and lodged in the base of the spine chakra, the Hara chakra, as a manifested nucleus of power and mind energies. This Kundalini is a fission point and a perpetual source of power. Over 90% of the Kundalini power is dormant, while a small percentage of the Kundalini power travels through the nadis, powering the bodies of expression. The bodies of expression being the mental, etheric, astral, and physical bodies. The nadi system are a series of, number 6, nadi system are a series of tiny, subtle lines of force within the auric body, originating from the Kundalini power within the Muladhara chakra at the base of the spine. These nadis flow through the layers of the auric body and enter and exit the 108 chakras through the petals, bijas. The word nadi means a flow of energies. There are 3 types of nadis: a mental flow of energies, Ida nadis, a vital flow of energies, Pingala nadis, and a neutral flow of energies, Sushumna nadis. There are estimated to be 242,000 nadi pathways, which feed the consciousness and vital energies throughout the vehicles of expression. Okay. Number 7, the mental body. The mental body is part of the soul's vehicles of expression that consist of the supra-conscious mind, the static part, the super-conscious mind, which is not there, which is the moving part, the subconscious mind, and the conscious mind. These are the 3 major divisions of man's mind that operates as the mental vehicles of expression for the consciousness. Number 8, prana formation. These pranas are the 5 major pranas that are radiated from the sun and are conditioned by the earth, moon, and planets of the solar system. They are also conditioned by the auric fields of man, which produce or express the 5 major pranas that assist him in both his gross, astral, physical existence, and expressions. All right, and then number 9, where we are currently in the transcript. The etheric body is the subtle vehicle that the higher consciousness of man operates from. It is made from the mental energy configurations of the upper chakras, the heart chakra and up. In a projective state, the etheric body can move through the entire realms below its level of operations, as well as the realms above as karma permits. Just as an aside, it is the etheric body in which the adepts, the 3 adepts operated in. Wait, am I allowed to say, is that, am I allowed to say that anymore? Is that all right?
What? What do you say?
Am I allowed to say that? Is that okay?
What?
That the etheric bodies, the bodies that the 3 adepts operated in?
Yeah, they had physical bodies too, though.
Yeah, I mean, when they're doing their missions and stuff.
Yeah, when they were doing their missions, they were in the etheric body.
Yeah. Astral body, this engine configuration, the engine configuration of this vehicle of expression is the result of man's fall of consciousness. The astral body is made up from the mental and energy configuration of the lower chakras. That's the solar plexus down. The makeup of the astral body is a result of the distorted energy patterns of man that have kept mankind locked into a passionate state of mind, and a series of subtle desire bodies that resonate all the passionate traits. The astral body is a subtle counterpart for the gross physical body. Okay, well, we'll get onto that later in the transcript, as well as the physical body is the gross aspect of all the vehicles of consciousness and the vehicles of expression. Being that the physical realm is the gross aspect of all the other aspects, it has the greatest amount of concentrated karmic pressures in active manifestation. Therefore, it is the best realm and the best body to actually burn up negative karma and to also create positive karma under these conditions. In other words, while in the gross physical incarnation, you can advance several lifetimes in a single life because of the concentrated karmic pressures wrapped in the physical body. So therein is the greatest benefit in being in a gross physical body. Maybe the only benefit, really. All right. So that is the mystic constitution of man, summarized in an illustration that many of you may be familiar with, but have never seen presented in this way. I'm sure it has never been presented in this way, because Nehemiah designed this himself. All right. So are there any final questions or comments or anything you want to add, Nehemiah, before we close out today's session?
No, that's it. Okay. If anyone have any questions, they can just write us or email us.
So again, we are currently making our way through, I say, the first 15 minutes. I only did the first 15 minutes of class 1, so we did the first 15 minutes of class 2. But you are more than welcome to go back and review these classes, take any notes. And if you have any questions on any of the material presented in this class, both class 1 and class 2, feel free to ask them. I'll be glad to answer those for you. After we finish the 15 minutes of class 2, we will then move on to the 21 lessons. And I may do a similar coverage of just doing the first 15 minutes, maybe more. because in this series, I went into greater detail of the subject material that was covered in the 101 series. And there's a document that actually covers or describes all 21 of those lessons. So I may just focus on those 21, skip over like the Ayurveda class and some of this stuff, but just focus strictly on that 21 lessons document. And as you can see here, in this open discussion, this is a Q&A session. A lot of people had questions on this subject. And I don't think we brought it up specifically. Since then, we've touched on it in several lectures, but this is Brahmacharya, or spiritual celibacy. An entire open discussion was devoted to that topic because there are just so many questions on it. But we'll go through this 21 lessons, and I'll keep it to the actual 21 lessons document. And I know that's not up in the shared folder, so I will go through that again, curate it, say exactly which classes we're going to cover, and then upload it to the shared folder as we go through this playlist. So this will be the next playlist we cover, and that should take us quite some time, because you can see the 101 series, class 1 is several classes, and class 2 is several classes, and that's just 15 minutes per class worth of transcript. So that's what we're heading to next. So you can begin reviewing those classes. You can focus on just the ones that are entitled 21 lessons. You know, it's class 2, class 4, class 5. Not every single class is here, because some of the classes, maybe a question was asked that led us into material that we decided to keep private. So when you're going through this playlist, it may actually look different for you, because I'm looking at this playlist as the admin, but it may look different for some of you, as some classes are made private. But I'll keep the coverage of the transcript to the classes that are public. And if there is a request for, like, say, maybe class 3 or class 1 or what have you, well, then send us an email, and if I'm given permission to, I'll release that private class to the individual who requested it. Okay. But if you do have any further questions or comments, you can feel free to email us, and we'll either answer that privately, or we can address it in the next open discussion. So let us know in the email if you would prefer us answer it privately, or if you're okay with us answering it in a subsequent open discussion. All right. If there's no further questions or comments, let us close out today's session with reciting the New Lord's Prayer. That's fine. The New Lord's Prayer. O divine and wondrous Spirit, O everlasting Lord of hosts, send forth now through me thy great and lasting power. Allow me, Almighty God, the lasting privilege of radiating to all the world thy great love, so that those who suffer may be given the power and energy to rise above their weaknesses. Almighty God, in great humility do I ask you to send forth your power, to give to me this great lasting privilege of being a channel, so that my suffering brothers may be helped and guided and healed and lifted into thy light, so that they who know not may look up, and in doing so, receive to their higher selves your divine counsel. Almighty God, this day have you granted me a divine privilege. I ask you now to give to me the strength so that never again will I turn from my inner vision of you. Oh, great peace, great peace, great peace. In praise of your greatness, O God, doth my soul sing. Grant it energy to sing on forever and forever. All right, thank you very much, everyone, for your attendance. If you do have any questions or comments, feel free to email them to us. Take a look through our YouTube channel and look at some previous classes or lectures. If you have any questions on the materials or have any suggestions for subject matters you would like us to cover in the future, you can send those to us as well. Thank you again. Have a wonderful week. We'll see you next time.